Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo Staten, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. If you have ever told yourself, I'm going to tackle everything this weekend, and then felt completely overwhelmed, exhausted, or maybe avoided it altogether, you are not alone. It's actually not you. It's really just unrealistic goal setting. So in today's podcast, I want to tell you exactly what's happening for why we are not successful. But most importantly, because you are here for results, I'm going to teach you a very, very simple strategy to begin to see progress, to see clutter leave your home and achieve that tidy, well-organized home we all desire. So let's start off by talking about the myth of the big decluttering weekend, which, by the way, I never, ever subscribed to anybody. We've all done it, or at least we've planned it. Clear the calendar, put on the music, finally get everything done. That's the intention, but here's the truth that most people don't really talk about. Big cleanouts require time, energy, and most importantly, emotional bandwidth. 3 things that most women do not have in abundance. By the time the weekend comes, let me guess, you are tired, you're already carrying a huge mental load, and then you are actually asking yourself to make hundreds of decisions all at once. That is incredibly masochistic of you. That is not motivation. That is pressure. And pressure is where decluttering shuts down. Here's what's actually happening when you plan a big clean out. Every single item that you begin to declutter is asking something of you. And it's specifically asking you things like, should I keep this item? Did I waste money on it? Who might need this? What if I need it later? Should I hold on to it? Your brain gets overwhelmed so freaking fast. And when your brain is overwhelmed, it does one of 3 things. And let me know if you can relate to at least one or possibly all 3. You push through and you burn out. You're exhausted. You do it anyways, and you probably don't do a really good job because at some point exhaustion sets in and you're rushing through it to get it done as quickly as possible. And chances are you probably have to redo it again at a later time. Another thing that might happen is you snap at everyone around you. You are so high stress with all the decisions and the huge project that you are literally ready to just ugh. The next person that looks at you sideways or says something like they need a snack. If you have kids, you know this when mommy's doing something and they're like, I need water. I want this. Where is this? And you're like, can you just take care of it on your own? Or what happens more often than not is you stop doing it all together. And you either give up before you even start or you give up 20 minutes in. Regardless of which category of things that happen you fall into, this is not very healthy for your body, for your mind, and especially for your home. None of these outcomes create lasting change. They just reinforce the belief that decluttering is hard or that you are bad at it. And I'm here to tell you that you are not bad at decluttering. It is not possible to be bad at decluttering. It's just not, because decluttering is so incredibly subjective and nobody can tell you what you should keep or what you should toss or what you should donate or any of those things, right? So no, you are not bad at decluttering. What's bad here, or rather what's not working, is your approach to decluttering your home. I'm a big fan of micro decluttering. I am a single mom. I am a professor. I present on stages. I'm currently working on a book. I run a business. Why I bring this up is because I don't have time to invest in any activity for 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 hours. I forgot the last time where I had a free weekend. So it is completely unrealistic to attempt to clean out or declutter or organize on the weekend for the entire day or part of the day. And this is why I tend to cater more to those of us who want to achieve a well-organized, clean and tidy home, but just don't have the hours to invest. And I'm here to tell you that I've been doing this for a decade, and micro decluttering habits work. Micro decluttering flips the entire system upside down. And instead of asking you to do everything, it only asks you to do one thing. One simple thing. And this is where you can start, and I'll talk about some additional strategies. But a great place to start is just with one item, one decision, one small release. And here is why that works. Your brain loves, and I do mean loves, small wins. Your nervous system feels safe with contained tasks. And consistency builds trust, not intensity. So what do I mean by that? When you're able to declutter even just one item a day, your brain starts to recognize that as success, right? You feel good. You get that nice little dopamine hit. We call that positive reinforcement. So let's compare, right? You schedule 5 hours to declutter your wardrobe on the weekend. It's incredibly hard and you give up. You experience decluttering paralysis. We've all been there, myself included, decision fatigue, and quite frankly, you hate the process. What you're telling your brain and your nervous system in that moment is this is a punishing task. What happens with punishing tasks? Do we want to do them again? No, we do not. So your brain then, every single time you start thinking of decluttering is like, oh, heck no, and begins to do what? The dreaded P word, which stands for procrastination, because your brain only enjoys doing things it perceives as things that it enjoys. Things that it doesn't enjoy, well, that's where the lag effect and the procrastination comes in. And quite frankly, can we blame it, right? As opposed to what you really want to do is you want to create a positive association between the task of decluttering or cleaning or organizing, whatever it may be. There needs to be a reward. So it's a feel-good moment. And what is easier than and more rewarding than just tossing one item a day? Teaching your brain like, hey, this was easy. This felt good. And you know what? I should and can do it again. The other thing is when we are overwhelmed, right? When we feel a task is, well, we're dreading a task, or we feel like we're biting off more than we can chew, or we have to make a lot of decisions and we feel insecure and unsure, our stress hormone, cortisol, goes up. And that is what very often happens when we schedule these unrealistic, I'm going to declutter an entire kitchen on a Sunday. Like, oh my God. And next thing you know, Monday rolls around and you probably call out of work. With that said, we want to decrease the stress levels, right? We want to decrease our cortisol levels. And we want to tell our nervous system that there's no reason to get overly activated, right? We are not stressed. We are decluttering and it's a wonderful thing. And it's super easy to do and manage on a daily basis, which by the way, and you might be thinking like, Margo, well, that's only one item a day. Like I wanted to declutter an entire room and you're telling me, forget that, just do one item. What are you, nuts? No, I'm not. Hear me out. So what happens is you begin with one item a day and all you're doing is, number one, you're starting to build a decluttering habit, which is very, very good for your brain because it loves consistency. But the second thing that you're doing is that you're also creating momentum and you're getting familiar and better at the habit. So what happens, and this happens with all of my clients, and I have clients all over the world. So what ends up happening is one item a day becomes 2 items a day, becomes 5 items a day, becomes a 15-minute decluttering micro zone session. And this compounds and it creates momentum, right? Action creates momentum and motivation. It's not like wait for motivation and then take action. 9 out of 10 times that does not work and it's incredibly unsustainable. But what does work is when you begin to take action and you become good at it and your brain recognizes it as something pleasant because you see the results, right? If you've ever walked into or even opened up a cabinet or looked at a shelf that you've decluttered, like you get a nice feeling. You know what I mean? Like you look at it and you're like, that looks good. Like I did that, right? And what does your brain naturally tell you? I want more of this. Let's make more of this happen. And that is what you want. And when it comes to, you might be wondering, like, where do I start, Margo? What is this, magic formula or magic system for how I let go? And like, where do I let go of this one item? Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. This doesn't need to be like a planning thing, right? You can use my very simple method of spot and toss. You're sitting on the couch. You look at your bookshelf or you're in the bathroom and you open your medicine cabinet or you're in your kitchen and you pop open a cabinet and you see, a mug that is broken or that nobody uses. Instead of closing the cabinet and leaving it there, let it go, right? So there does not need to be a huge overwhelming strategy to this. You do not have to invest time, energy, and effort into goal setting and planning. it's just really random items. It could be one mug. It could be a piece of mail. It could be one shirt you didn't wear this week. It could be something random that's been sitting on your kitchen counter for like 18 months. Why is it still there? I don't know, but let it go, right? It could be just some rando from your junk drawer. It could essentially be absolutely anything. You don't need to feel motivated for this. You just literally need to toss one item a day. And that's it. And that's productivity. And that's a feel-good moment. And we want to celebrate that. So here's what won't happen right away, because I'm all about keeping it real. Your home will not look magazine ready. Okay? The whole thing of starting with one item a day, the intention there is not to see a huge transformation in a week, because that's not possible. And your closets won't suddenly be perfect. But here's what will happen. Your space and you will begin to feel lighter. Your brain will start to feel calmer. And decluttering, most importantly, because this is what we're after, will stop feeling like punishment and will begin to feel like self-care. And over time, those tiny decisions add up to real change. I have seen it again and again and again. So here is your takeaway for today. Decluttering doesn't require a weekend, so stop planning it. It requires one small decision at a time. Today, as you're listening to this podcast, choose one item to let go, whether this is trash or recycle or it goes into a donation bin, whatever. Choose one item, decide quickly, then stop. That is progress. All right. Thank you so much for listening. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.